Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian. I know I have no hat on today. I couldn't find one, but I wanted to get this video out for you guys. My buddy Michael came over this weekend and we shared some pours together. And one of the bottles he brought over was this bottle from Kings County Distillery. This is New York City's oldest whiskey distillery. And this happens to be batch 15 of their barrel strength straight bourbon whiskey, 65%. And it is 80% New York corn, 20% UK malt, aged for 4 years or more. And when we got into trying this, based on the flavor profile and some of the things I was experiencing, it made me think of two different products. Driftless Glen, our entry proof pick that we did from Dancing Goat of the 7-year American corn whiskey, for different reasons. I wanted to dive into this product and kind of talk about it compared to those other two products. Let's go ahead and jump into this as well. One of the things right off the bat that I was super surprised with was the color of this pour. Really beautiful, really rich. I don't know how old these barrels are, but beautiful color on this. And man, what a load of flavor you are getting. What a lot of aromatics that you're getting right off the bat, and especially as it's open more. Smallest, slightest hint of licorice in there. Tons of maple, sugar. There's dark fruit notes, there's date, there's raisin, there's plum, there's a gob of molasses notes, some brown sugar sweetness, and then it just has this kind of nice chocolate malt characteristic. Incredibly inviting, slightly perfumed, really ready to dig in. Let's see if you can see some of the legs on this glass here. And let's go ahead and dive in for a taste. And the palate follows suit. So buttery, so rich in texture. The first time you sip it, you're really gonna feel that proof. You're gonna feel it kind of grip with the palate. But the more you get accustomed to it, or if you're warmed up for the night, it explodes on the palate. There's so much that you can find. Continues with all the flavor notes that I mentioned were present on the nose. Sticky date, there's raisin, there's fig, there's plum notes, slightly sugary, very deep, very woodsy, very heavy, very lots of layers to this one. This nice chocolate covered malt in the finish. Good woodsy aromatics to it too, so it has some oak. It's not overly oaky, but deep, oaky, rich, caramely, a little bit of vanilla, definitely that maple and molasses in there too. It's so perfumed, sweet, chewy, hefty, very enjoyable sipper. And so it was that kind of higher malt profile that made me think Driftless Glen, because I thought that I've had some of the Driftless Glen bourbons that have had a little bit more of the malty tail. So let's go ahead and try the Driftless Glen. But you can already tell in the nose, the Driftless Glen is a little bit lighter. It kind of has a little smoke characteristic on the nose, but then it also has some more vanilla sweetness, a little bit lighter, still kind of fragrant, a little bit of red fruit there. Let's go ahead and dive in on the palate to this. Yeah, right away, you get some more of that smoke. You get some slightly greener characteristics, definitely some of the vanilla carrying through. Really enjoyable pour. It's been one of my favorites to sip on this year. It's brighter, it's got more lift, it's got a little bit more lighter approach to it. Not really as oaky, a little bit more red fruit, a little bit more kind of pressing into that, and some of the cleaner sugary sweetness on the palate. So let's go the other direction, which was that Dancing Goat. It was the heat that I initially got, the kind of heft, the depth, and the spice that made me think maybe it's close to this Dancing Goat. And the Dancing Goat is rich right away. It has those dark fruits. It kind of has the plum and the raisin notes. It has these oak notes, these chocolate, these caramel notes, these brown sugar notes, supporting the nose as well. Really enjoyable. Let's dive into this one. This is rich. It's dense. It's a little bit more brown sugar and vanilla sweetness, a little less of that maple, maybe a touch there. Definitely some cherry, definitely some plum, definitely some of the same raisin-like notes that you get there with a little bit more chocolate, a little bit more oak. Man, this is really enjoyable. This is one of the things that we loved about this pick specifically, but still has a long, spicy finish as well. And you could chew on that for days. Anyone who's familiar with this pick or saw my previous video is familiar with this product. You know where I stand on that. So let's kind of bring it back in. Let's go back to the Kings County after that. And man, a little bit more sweetness to the nose. It definitely is more amplified nose than the Driftless Glen. And it's slightly more complex and perfumed nose than the Dancing Goat. Man, even more flavors unlock since coming from the Dancing Goat, since being open. I feel like this is one you definitely want to sit on. It's going to continue to evolve in the glass. Compared to Dancing Goat, so much more of the raisin notes, the date, the fig, those kind of dark fruit, dried fruit notes, a lot more prominent on the palate with this sticky, thick maple on the tongue. Not overly sweet, but it's definitely sweet leaning. It's very heavy, sits right on the tongue. The finish is a little bit drier than Dancing Goat. Still some perfumed woods in there, not quite the oakiness that the Dancing Goat has, but still this kind of fragrant wood element to it. Still has this chocolate malt essence to it. Still very syrupy and sweet and decadent, and just overall really enjoyable. Really surprising pour here from this King County Distillery. It's definitely one of my favorite surprises that I've had this year. And again, not something I hear a whole lot of talk about. So once I was able to try it, I figured it's definitely something I wanted to get here on the channel in case it was helpful for you all. If you've seen it in your market and haven't known, hey, do I take a chance on this? It's New York. Is it going to be kind of that crafty profile with a lot of grain and with maybe some heat, some youthfulness? I don't think so. I think it's a little bit different. I think it's really well done. I think it's definitely worth giving it a try if you see it around there. Again, this was batch 15 of the barrel strength Great Bourbon Whiskey. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this video was insightful. I hope it was helpful if you all have seen this in your area. If you guys have tried Kings County, leave me a message down below. Let me know what you thought of the various products that they have out there. Thanks so much for tuning in to another video, everybody. Give me that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me know if you're enjoying the content that I'm providing here so I can continue to bring out content that you're interested in hearing about. Let me know if there's other topics you want to hear on upcoming videos. And until next time, see you all later.